Hello, Bible readers. It is Friday, January 8th. We're reading Psalm 131, 138, 139, 143 through 145 in John chapter 7, 53 through chapter 8, 38. A little bit of reading to do. Within the context of the Jewish Feast of Tabernacles, or the Festival of Booths, is another term for what's happening, the context for this part of John. It's a festival, it's a harvest festival, marked by libations and the promise of the coming Messiah, who will repeat the Moses gift of water. So within that context, they're celebrating water and how that water has brought fruit from the fields. Jesus presents himself as the source of living water. So imagine being a part of a festival that's celebrating the fertility of the land, and thank God there was no drought this year. And in the midst of it, Jesus standing up and saying, yeah, but I'm the living water. The ritual, or one of the rituals in Jerusalem, was to carry water from the pool of Siloam to wherever you were celebrating the festival of the tabernacles. And Jesus here then claims to be the source of living water for all who believe in him. Obviously a controversial thing to stand up and claim. And so this leads to confession for some that triggers something, for many rejection is their response. Again, this is how this whole section of John, it's really what the whole gospel is about. Some accept and confess while others reject. Those who are rejecting, some are saying, he comes from Galilee and the Christ isn't supposed to come from there. And so they're showing their devotion and loyalty to the law more than their willingness to be open to following this Son of God. Of course, we know he's not from Galilee. John is claiming he's from God. That's what Jesus is trying to get across as well. And then you got this story, it's almost like an interlude, the story of the adulterous woman, where Jesus says, those here who don't have sin, cast the first stone. It is a story about unconditional forgiveness. It is a story that is trying to bring up an issue of the day, whether stoning is an appropriate response to adultery. But it's also a story about the law, which is what this whole section is about. Does the law exist to serve people, or are people in existence to serve the law? Making this woman an object that the law is saying, okay, you got to stone her. That's not what the law is for, is what Jesus is claiming. And then I wanted to read just a portion of my commentary to the passion of the encounters that follow. This is in chapter 8, verses 31 through the end of our reading for today. Of the accusation and counter-accusation, make this section the most difficult section of the gospel. So this is not the easy part to understand. But I did find another part that I thought had some wisdom. There's a dynamic in the journey of faith from partial to full faith. So this is people like Nicodemus and others who come to believe kind of partially based on the signs of Jesus. By committing themselves to that journey, by abiding in the word of Jesus that they're struggling to grasp, they can be regarded as disciples. A disciple is always at the school of Jesus. This pertains to us. It is not immediate assent, but steadiness of faith that gives character to genuine discipleship. Their journey into true faith will lead the Jews into a knowledge of the truth. In other words, truth is experienced through the journey, not the destination. I find that to be heartening, that the truth, once we let it in, will change us. Maybe not immediately, but eventually and for surely. So let that be a word of good news to you today, that if you're on the journey, you're on your way, right? Okay, the Psalms, I'm just going to say a quick word about each one. 131 is the 12th song of ascent to Jerusalem, maybe written by a woman, according to verse 2. Psalm 138, God's got the whole world in his hands. That's where this that song comes from, this psalm. 139 is another song I know. Lord, you have searched me out and known me. What a gift to think that God knows me. 143 is theological in nature. 144, we live in waiting. 145, God is great and God is good. Let that sink in for the rest of the day. And remember, I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.